Lovely people. How are you all? Good morning, Sunday morning. Welcome to another video. Oh, Mr. Morrison, you are spilling us. I don't even know if you can see me. Anyway, just a video, quick video. Sunday after the big gravel ride. If you didn't watch that, it was my last video. Go and check it out. But today's video, rant time. The industry, LBS, local bike shops, complicit to the bullshit that we have to put up with the quality of our products. Anyway, let's get into it. Welcome to James Social Cycling. I've had a few problems with bearings, as you know, with having to change headset, having to change the headset and the bottom bracket on the Cannondale, and then 4-month-old bearings on the Amonda going after, and that was going after 3-4 months. I was actually ill with COVID for 3 weeks, so I'm a bit pissed off because it's costing me money and nobody's taken any responsibility for it. And I ain't got money coming out of my ears. Might be Neil and all that. Look. Hello. That was Woking CC. So anyway, let's start from the beginning. Hashtag specialised pile of poo, right? I bought a bike from them, which was the Roubaix, 1,500 quid. After a few months, I started getting the squeak from the bottom bracket. So took it back to them. They lock nutted all the bearings in, as they told me they do, not telling me that it was hashtag specialised pile of poo, press fit. And then I got pedal on. No, actually, I'd hunted on YouTube. This is back in 2014 to find something that I can convert it to, and it was a Praxis. So I was looking at buying one of those, and then I found out Pedal On did the Praxis, so I got them to fit one. It was fantastic, no problems, until it was time to change, and then I had problems. But the only reason why I bought that bike was because, as Pedal Heaven told me, the frame comes with a lifetime warranty. Now, but the bottom bracket part isn't under warranty. It's pretty much what they told me when I complained to them that this bike was unfit for purpose back in 2014 or 2015. Morning. So anyway, as we all know the story of that, I ended up getting rid of it and putting this together. But they were complicit. The bike shop was complicit because they knew and know the problems, yet still sold me the pile of shit. Anyway, so I get ripped off there, don't I? Big time. Then Pedal On, I bought a mountain bike from them. Was looking at the scale 740, but the only model they had in at the time was a 27.5. Now I always wanted, because I'm a big guy, 29er. We'll order it in for you. Anyway, they ordered it in, ended up being an Aspect, Scott Aspect 940 29er, same colour frame, which is what I loved about it, you know what I'm like. So off the back of that, I ended up buying it. It was 500 quid. It was a lot bloody cheaper. Morning, thank you. It was a lot bloody cheaper. It was a couple of £200–300 cheaper than the scale, but that wasn't what it was about. It ended up having Claris on it or something. Anyway, long story short, they had it back. It wasn't changing gear very well. They changed cables, they changed the cassette, they did this, they did that, all at their expense. But I hardly rode it. It's called the Winter Warrior. I hardly rode it because it was a pain in the arse. You know how annoying it is if you go out for one ride and your indexing isn't right. The first thing you do is pull over and bloody sort it out. But you just couldn't sort that out. So I ended up selling that to Boschy. But I sold him the frame and the wheels and the seat post, handlebars. The gearing I'd taken off. I didn't want to sell that to anybody because I knew it was a pile of shit. So I lost money there as well. Fucking car. Oh, car and holes. I'm going to stop there, mate. Thank you. Yeah. So, again, they knew it was a pile of shit, but did they offer to take the fucking crap back? No, they didn't. I'd actually spoken to Hambini back in them days about sending him the frame. So I was going to send him the Roubaix frame because at the time I loved the colour, I loved the frame itself, and I was really gutted that it wasn't working and gutted that I spent so much bloody money on it. So I was going to send that to him, but as I said, in the end I ended up deciding to box that up in a shed. Then when I bought the Amonda, the frame itself, and we went to go and do the build, I did the build with Simon at Precision Cycles, and the first thing we tried to do was obviously put the bottom bracket on, and we couldn't, it wouldn't fit. So when we measured actually the bottom bracket sizing on the frame, and it was out. It was out by a millimetre in one area. And the problem was ramming a wheels manufacturer bottom bracket onto a frame like that probably wouldn't have done it any bloody good. You'd have had trouble with the bearings rolling. You'd have crushed you'd have ended up crushing the casing itself. But the whole point of the wheels manufacturer was so then I only needed to change the bearings. I did buy, and this is God's honest, and Hambini would say, I actually bought one of his race BB86 bearing bottom brackets. I did an unboxing for that as well, but there's a screw underneath that holds on the cable guides. Wouldn't have been good enough, but now he does the threaded. So he now does a threaded bottom bracket, which is 2 parts, so would work all right. But the problem with that, as I said, it's 307 quid, and at this moment in time I don't have 307 quid. I didn't even have, what was it, 80 quid for the bearings for the top stone, and bloody 53 quid to have a Shimano BB put in the bottom of this again, which Hambini recommended as a short-term fix to get me back on the road. I know Shep did as well, so on Instagram he commented about putting that because of the plastic sleeve on it, because I didn't want to damage. So I put some photos in of the damage that the bottom bracket caused on my 105 spindle, and that was out with Andy last Saturday. So basically I was out and I knew the bearings were going, so I was looking at buying some new bearings, and then literally you could hear metal on metal. It was an absolute disgrace. It was awful. So I sent an email to Pedal On asking, because I bought the bearings and they put them in for me. So I wanted to know, they've only been in 3 months, they've completely gone. And then that happened, sort of metal on metal. And so I sent them an email with all the pictures and everything, asking them to come back to me with something, and they ended up calling me and said, bring the bike down. So I brought the bike down and I said, look, put a Shimano one in there if you have to, short-term measure, which cost me 54 quid. And that was it. So I sort of said to the guy, I said, what was wrong? You know, why did, it was the bearings. Oh, what do you mean it was the bearings? I didn't send you an email with a fucking great big list of stuff that I'd written just so you could turn around and tell me something I already fucking knew. It was the fucking bearings. I knew the bearings had fucking gone. Somebody else said something a bit different. Ambini said it looked like, because obviously it looked like that there was a disalignment there, but there wasn't a disalignment there in the first place. You know, this is that was the third set of bearings I'd had in that since March 2020. So I'm a bit pissed, because the Roubaix, I was sold a pile of shit and told a complete bullshit lie about it being under warranty, the frame. Then the aspect from Pedal On, gearing that didn't work, which in the end I didn't buy. I just wanted to get rid of. So are these retailers complicit to the bullshit we have to put up with? Because I'm a salesman, and if I sold you a pile of shit that didn't work, I'd expect you to complain and want your money back, and I'd have to give you it back, because I wouldn't sell you a pile of shit that didn't work. Are the retailers complicit to that? They know. They've been putting up with this problem over and over and over again, and the only person that's shouting out is two. There's the Aussie guy, oh god, you'd have to forgive me, I've forgotten his name. The guy talks really slow. And then you've got obviously Hambini, who in his early days took a load of crap, but to be honest with you, he's a legend, because he's trying to fix a problem that the industry aren't. He's not making billions and billions on the industry. You've got people like Specialized and Trek and all that are making a pile of shit and making a load of money out of it and not fixing the problem. And the retailers have to deal with that. I wouldn't sell you a pile of shit, and if I didn't like you. Anyway, excuse the language. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm out on the Emonda today. I picked it up yesterday. I wasn't going to ride today, but because I picked it up this morning, yesterday, it was ready. So I thought I'd at least come out for a ride and hurt my legs. My legs are hurting. Yesterday was a killer for me, which I'll do. I'm going to do it again. So it was a whole body workout. But anyway, yeah, I don't know, where do we go from here? Because a lot of you don't have any problems at all, you know. And don't get me wrong, in the early days I had good bikes that were no problems. So what's that all about? Lovely people. 19 miles, that's enough. Legs have had a nice recovery ride, and I've had a nice cuppa. I could go on. The bike shops know this is going on, and it just, after yesterday's little, must have been the bearings. It's not exactly why I asked the question, but anyway, hope you enjoyed my little rant. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll catch you on the road very soon.